But if your son or your husband, your brother were killed while serving, that blue star would come off of the flag and a gold star would be put on the flag, as you see in this one. Hello, I'm Dr. George Cressman, and I'm the staff historian here at the Camp Landing Museum. Today I'd like to share with you one of our museum displays here on Homefront activities. And I'm going to highlight several of the items that we have in this display. Thanks for viewing this video. Most of the people who watch our YouTube channel videos are not subscribed to our channel. Please do subscribe to the channel so you get notice as new videos come out. Thank you. The first item I'd like you to see is what's called a service flag. And here's a typical World War II era service flag. And you notice there's a blue star on it. And that blue star indicates a son, a husband, or a brother in the service. So these flags were hung in the front windows of a home. So people walking by would say, there's somebody that's serving. And it would have, depending on the number of people in the household serving, you could have multiple stars on your flag. Now some of you may have heard the phrase, a gold star mother. And you may not know what that means. Did you notice on that flag there was a blue star? But if your son or your husband, your brother were killed while serving, that blue star would come off of the flag and a gold star would be put on the flag, as you see in this one. That indicates that a member of this household was killed during the war. During the war, many things were strictly rationed. So tires for automobiles, almost impossible to get tires. In fact, there were even regulations that you couldn't have more than 5 tires in your household, 4 for your car and 1 spare. So you couldn't squirrel up and hold lots of extra inventory. Gasoline, of course, was rationed, and depending on what your work was, you might get more gasoline, but most people were very strictly limited in the amount of gasoline that they could get. Food products were very strictly rationed, and you had issued multiple times ration coupons. So here is a ration coupon holder, and inside there would be a series of stamps that would allow you to buy meats or vegetables, anything which could be used to feed the troops was very strictly rationed. And one of the ways that people got around that was by planting victory gardens. So victory gardens were a way of growing vegetables that you could use canned for your household. Another item that was strictly rationed was an important issue for those of us here in the South, and that was sugar. Sugar was very strongly rationed. Typically, a household got a coupon like this one once a quarter for a 1 5-pound bag of sugar. That had to last you 3 months. And of course, here in the South, where sweet tea is almost a religious issue, that's a big problem, a big challenge. Another aspect of that sugar rationing was that lots of candy was not widely available. Candy production was reserved first for troops. And so all kinds of alternatives to that, to the availability of sugar for candy, all sorts of alternatives came into being. And one of them was sorghum candies, or candies produced with sorghum powder rather than sugar itself. So at the museum here, we have some of these special candies that were available at the time. Many of you with children in the house know that M&Ms is a special treat. And there's a story behind M&Ms which is connected to World War II. The Army was looking for a candy that they could send out to the jungles of the Pacific Theater. And they wanted a candy that would not melt in the tropical heats. So M&M Mars invented the M&M candy that melts in your mouth and not in your hands. So the next time you have some M&Ms, you're thinking about the connection to the World War II history. I'd like to share with you now something called sweetheart jewelry. And if you look at our display when you come in, you'll see a red cloth here with a number of pieces of sweetheart jewelry encased in it. Here is a display of some types of sweetheart jewelry. These were pins that were sold to the general population on the home front, and they might be worn. The name sweetheart indicates it's for your girlfriend, but there were pins for mothers, there were pins for fathers, there were all kinds of variations of these. There were pins that would say things like swap the Axis and so on, a patriotic kind of motif. The sweetheart jewelry was put out in a huge variety of different items. It might have you might have a pin that had your sweetheart or your husband or your son's rank in the Army or the Navy. It might have that rank on it. It might actually have your sweetheart pin that had your service flag on it. So you might see somebody wearing a pin that had 1 or 2 or 3 blue stars on it. Sweetheart jewelry was extremely popular, and it's a big deal for collectors today. I'm here to tell you because I collect sweetheart jewelry. So there's just a few of the items that we highlight in our display on the Homefront Museum. I'd like to encourage you to come in and visit us at the museum. Camp Landing Museum is open every day from noon to 4, and we'd welcome your visit. We've got lots of stories, and we look forward to sharing those with you. Secondly, I'd encourage you to become a subscriber to our Camp Landing YouTube channel. We put up a new video every week, and there are lots of stories that we'll continue to share with you. So for the Camp Landing staff and all of our wonderful volunteers, this is Dr. George Cressman signing off.